This is the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli. And on this episode, going a little festive here as we're nearing Christmas Day. Been in the Christmas season here for a bit. How are you people feeling out there that start putting your decorations up the day after Halloween, where, you pull out the skulls and the ghosts, the ghouls, the cobwebs, and all that shit, and all of a sudden it's holly trees and Rudolphs and Frosties and Santas and all that shit, stockings. What are you doing now? Are you sick of it yet? I want to know because I've always been in the camp that's kind of just waited till after Thanksgiving to put up all these decorations. Because I, not that I don't like Christmas, I really do. I love the decor and all that. I do a lot of uplighting and things in my house. So I get into it. Believe me, I do. Not a Scrooge, not a Grinch. I might look like one to you. I might look like one, and that's okay because I've been told that. I just might, but I'm not a Christmas Scrooge or Grinch. I do like to wait because I don't want it to become bleh. By the time Christmas comes, I don't want it to just be like, oh, hey, it's the decorations are up. I'm ready to take this shit down. It's been up here for 7 or 8 weeks at this point. Now, nothing wrong with that because somebody did say that Christmas is more of a season than an actual holiday. So I guess you could take the last 2 months of the year and call it a season and get into it. I have to confess that I did put my decorations up in mid-November this year. I had my reasonings. I basically needed to get it done because I was going to go on a trip. I went to Ireland by myself, did some solo travel, which was very rewarding, very nice. And Thanksgiving also was towards the end of um, of the month. Sometimes it falls in between. I think it's like the 22nd to the 29th or something, or 28th, whatever. So it was somewhere within there. And I was hosting Thanksgiving, so I said, "Well, why not put all the Christmas shit up and just make it a big montage of fucking holiday, and I'll have a good fucking time, and who gives a shit?" So I did that, and it was nice. But it's now approaching Christmas. I've been talking to a lot of people about this holiday. It's we advertise it here in the U.S. and around the world too, because I was in Dublin, Ireland, and boy, they do it up for Christmas there. I tell you, if you could actually get out one year around Christmas time out of the country and go somewhere, I would go to Dublin. It's one of the nicest setups for Christmas lights and everything of the sort. And a real chill town, real fun. Great bars, decorated wall to wall with Christmas decor. If you're a Christmas fan, Dublin, Ireland, check it out. But anyways, um, so I basically, we advertise this as like the happy time of year. This is supposed to be happiness. We give gifts. We're with family. We're doing this or that. A lot of it can be stressful for people because your real life issues, they don't actually just dissipate because a tree gets put up or whatever. So I'm going to touch on that a little bit today. I'm not going to get too down about it, but I got some other fun shit to go over and some responses also from the friends over on social media. So to have a look here, um, this is where I want to start. Something basic and stupid. And I just was curious. So I was wondering, I use Spotify, okay? Whatever. And what are the top 10 most streamed Christmas songs of all time on Spotify? And here's the list. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening, I'll read it off to you here. Number 10 is Underneath the Tree by Kelly Clarkson from 2013. And that looks like it's by the million. So 950 million streams since its inception. Number 9 is Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. That's from 2011. And then you've got what do you got here? It's The Most Wonderful Time of the Year by Andy Williams from 1963. I'm glad that's still up there. So I'm sure you probably rolled your eyes at Kelly Clarkson and Justin Bieber being on this list, but this is the world we live in now. Not the worst songs, not gonna lie. I can get down with the Justin Bieber one a little bit. Come send me some hate mail for that shit. I don't care. Not too shabby. It grows on you. It's hard to admit that, but here I am admitting it, and whatever. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas by Michael Bublé from 2011 as number 7. Number 6 is Snowman by Sia. I surprised about that one really, but it is what it is. I mean, the popular stuff is going to be streamed more than we think than the old school things. But number 5 is an old school song that's kind of held its own. It's by Bobby Helms. It's the classic Jingle Bell Rock from 1957. So that one still gets its play. And then number 4 is Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande. I like that song. I don't care. Come at me. It's a good song. You like it too. Most people who yell at me for it also listen to it in their own private times while they're taking a shit. I guarantee you put it on. But anyways, number 3, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee, 1958. I think that's one of the most classic ones we can put out there. Number two is Last Christmas by Wham from 1984. And number one is All I Want for Christmas Is You, Mariah Carey, who you either love or hate that song, I guess. I mean, that song gets a lot of hate. I think Mariah Carey's, that song by Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, is kind of like if you're familiar with rock music, you kind of make fun of it a little bit like it's generic shit like Nickelback. She's like the Nickelback of Christmas, I guess, is what you want to say. Because I don't think you really hate that song. I don't think anybody actually hates that song. I think it's just like the thing to do is to hate All I Want for Christmas Is You. I guarantee you, if they stopped playing that song, there would be protesting, people screaming and shouting and crying on the floor because that song is gone and not on the radio waves or streaming. I said radio waves like it's fucking 1962, but whatever. I'm an old soul, I guess. What are you gonna do? So I guarantee you that you would be pissed off if they nixed the Mariah Carey Christmas shit, and whatever. So, anyways, I was kind of talking before. And a little bit of this image got cut off at the bottom there, so I apologize that this kind of looks like shit. But here we are, and it's not about how it looks; it's about sort of the message inside, and that kind of plays into this here a little bit because, like I was saying when we started the episode off, that this time of year is advertised, and it's almost like a force. You're forced to be happy during this time of year. It's like if you're not happy, you're fucking weird. And this is the happiest time of the year. We're giving gifts. We're jingling bells, and we're putting up holly, and we're singing Christmas carols and shit and all that. And we're building snowmen, putting hats and coal and carrots and shit inside the snow, and all that fun stuff that we do, all these traditions. But some people are going through a lot of bullshit, and whether it's loss, whether it's mental health, and all of that. And here's six things on this graphic here that I found that I thought were relevant to how some people might be feeling. And I do believe that it's a good thing to kind of have an awareness of what people are really going through. Don't just give the generic like, hey, just be happy, just or count your blessings and all of that stuff, which is that's good and all, but sometimes if you start to tell people why they should be happy and they're going through some stuff, you kind of come off a little bit inconsiderate, maybe, or you know, that you're just not grasping where they're at, and you can't, maybe you haven't been conditioned to do that. I know that's for a fact, because sometimes when you go ahead and you tell somebody that hey, there's bigger problems in the world or this or that, you kind of diminish their own feelings and they invalidated it and all of that, and it just kind of sucks because it's like, well, I feel this way, but you're telling me I shouldn't. Now you're telling me a bunch of other sad shit that it's supposed to alleviate my sadness and my bullshit, but it's not. It's just piling onto it. Now it's even worse. But now I have guilt because you're telling me that this person has it worse. So now what? Now I'm just sitting here feeling bad about myself times two. So, anyways, so here's six things that around the holidays to be aware of a little bit that some people might be going through, and the people that are battling illness, mental illness during the holidays. So, if you have depression, you have anxiety, you have whatever, something you're diagnosed with clinically, except for the narcissists out there, especially those covert ones, those sneaky little covert ones, maybe not them, but everybody else that's battling some sort of true mental illness, that doesn't go away just because you put your tree up and the stars lit and all of that. And Santa Claus is going to put his fat ass down the chimney and give you a bunch of gifts on Christmas morning. That doesn't alleviate that. And he's going to eat your cookies no matter what. And he's going to get the fuck out. He's going to go to the next house. Okay. So that's just what happens on Christmas. If you have those things, if you're anxious, if you're worried, if you're concerned, if you have health issues, if you're worried about your kids, you're worried about a relationship, you're worried about your job, whatever it is, it typically doesn't alleviate, go away. And then, and I'm talking even about the stuff where you're even medicating and all of that. It doesn't just dissipate because it's Christmas time. Okay, that's just the way it is. So be aware of those types of people, and their shits might even get worse during this time. Okay, and then also the people feeling lonely during the holidays. Now remember, loneliness is one thing, and being alone is another. There might be someone that wants to sit by themselves by their Christmas tree, sip some tea, and I don't know, whatever else I can rhyme with that shit, I guess, because that was an accident. But anyways, you loneliness is a feeling. Being alone is a state. They can cross over a little bit. I mean, I love being alone. I love solitude. You could feel lonely in a crowd of 10,000 people. That's just the way it is. So people who are lonely are either maybe missing something in their lives, missing their kids, missing a significant other, missing something, missing a drive, whatever it is. They just are feeling that loneliness feel. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're sitting alone on the holiday. They could feel very lonely and be all around their relatives, and honestly being around those people could make their loneliness even worse because it stems from something internal. Now they're hearing all these other stories, they're taking that in, they're processing it through the crap that's going on inside it, and then their brain is spiraling, telling them more terrible things. So just, that's another type of person to feel for, and, reach out to, and see how they're doing. And I mean, I'm one of those people who don't believe anybody should be alone on the holidays, unless they want to. That's really it. So, it'd be nice to open your doors for people if you can, and see who's out there. And if you start talking to people, and I did that this year, started talking to more friends, people that acquaintances and things like that. I got a little deeper with some people, and you kind of realize that there are people out there who are very lonely, and can use some companionship, and something like that might mean the world to them, whether it's just a text, a call, or an invite, whatever. The next one is the people who are caregivers to someone who's ill. Again, now I have no experience of this firsthand. I did have grandparents and an aunt who had caregivers. Sometimes it's an immediate family member, that they're, I don't want to call it burdened, but they're definitely someone to think about, that they're in this state. To say you're taking care of a sick parent, or whatever, a child, even whatever it is, and you're just a caregiver, that might be a hard time for you during the holidays. It doesn't really bring you much joy. Again, I can't really speak for this. I think it's very valid, but I have no experience at this point, and that's a blessing in my own life, because I just haven't had to be a caretaker outside of your children, which is a different story. But yeah. So, anyways, the next one would be the people who struggle to afford a holiday celebration. I Now we're going to get into this a little bit later, but the spending around the holidays, this is the first year I truly believe it's ridiculous, and I'm starting to see outside of this bullshit tradition. I get the excitement for kids. I understand that. I wouldn't want to take that from children. I think that opening presents on Christmas is one of the best childhood pastimes, and I couldn't imagine, I've been lucky enough in my life, to where I've been able to provide for my kids, and my parents for me, a Christmas with gifts, and all of that, and parties and things like that. We had plenty of food, plenty of presents, enough to do, enough to drink. Everything was there. So some people do struggle with that, and it's a shame, and it's hard. And it feels like there should be enough for it to go around, to help everybody. But I think that's another way to switch some mindsets around this holiday. And I know it's been said before, and it's cliche. It sounds like I'm virtue signaling, but there's a lot of folks out there not be able to afford shit. Now it is more true than ever to me, because of how high the inflation is right now, how off balance the cost of living to our wages has gone. That's not a cop out anymore. There was a time in life where I would have said that's a cop out, and people are just complaining, and aren't doing enough. But it's true right now with how it is. It's very difficult for people with the interest rates the way they are, with the inflation the way it is. Taxes are out of control. You know this. That, just trying to put in a special holiday one time a year is stress on people. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not more, thousands, to do so. So think about those, see what you can donate so you can help, and go from there. So the next one would be the people who are grieving a loss during the holidays. I couldn't, I can't imagine that. So, especially for someone that's recently lost someone close to them, God forbid, a child, parent, whatever it is, significant other. It's tough. It's very difficult, and this time of year doesn't bring them joy. It probably brings them a lot of sadness, and a lot of memories that, that sting like crazy, and that just hurts because that person's not there to be with. So, so just more reasons to hold the gratitude for who is there. I guess that's my best advice, because, we lost some family members in the past, here in the past few years, in my family, and especially the last decade or so, with the grandparents and others that have gone. You kind of see the family dissipate a little bit, and with the COVID stuff, that kind of made everyone want to like get used to smaller gatherings, and shit like that. That big family feel for a lot of people has kind of gone away, and things get split up, and it just becomes different. And that's just the process of life. But especially for someone grieving somebody that was very close to them that's not there, that's a tough one. So there's really no getting around that. It's just kind of get through it. So that's what you got to do. And the last one is the people who are spending the holidays with people who aren't supportive of them. So it's almost like, well, you got to go see this family member, that family member, and we have to go here. So like now it's Christmas Day, and you're basically forced because it's the thing to do to go see a family member or someone who hasn't been supportive of you, who has maybe ridiculed you, who has said bad things to you, who has disrespected you. Um, you know, I am very blessed right now that I am going to be spending my holidays, the majority of people who have supported me in the past. And if someone there is there that doesn't or it hasn't, and I just, stray away because I'm not going to let one person destroy my holiday if they are there. So that's the kind of way. If somebody is disrespectful to you or doesn't give you that support, then just distance yourself as best as you can, because it's not all bad. When you start to realize that certain people just aren't there for you and aren't going to be, that's okay to do that and cut some people out as needed. That doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's a positive thing. Doesn't have to be a big issue. You just do it, and then you can have a more peaceful holiday. So enough of this sadness shit. Okay, enough of that. We just wanted to put that out there. Okay. Now I went to social media, and I like doing this, and it was fun. I got some good responses. So I asked three different questions, sort of, and just got responses from people. I'll give you mine. And it'll just be off the top of my head because I haven't even thought about them yet. Most of you helped me cover this and get it out there. So the first question that I asked, what is an aspect of Christmas that needs to go away forever? So what's something Christmas related that you want to see gone and never return? All right. So we're going to find what that is. Here's what we said here. Okay. Here's the list. It's up here. I'll read them off for those that can't see. So again, it's what is an aspect of Christmas that needs to go away forever? First one here is Elf on a Shelf. All right. I think people are sick of that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I've had some days where I've been laying in bed and I realized, oh, fuck, I didn't move the fucking elf. Did you know my older daughter doesn't believe in it anymore? She knows that it's out there. And my younger one does. So I don't know. Or she just wants to play along still. Who knows? But either way, I still go for it and do it. So I think that's something that when you shit on the elf on the shelf, kind of like Mariah Carey, if they're gone, you're going to miss them. I'm sorry. The Elf on the Shelf and Mariah Carey are two things. If they were gone and not around for Christmas time, you're going to miss it a little bit. And we like bring that shit back because that's how we're wired. We always want what we don't have. When we got an abundance of it, we don't appreciate it. We want it gone because we're sick of it. So that's what we get. We get elves and we get Mariah Carey all over the fucking Christmas time. And if they go away, you will be sad. I think you will. I might be. I don't know. Somebody said smelts, which is a fish. And now it's part of the seven fishes deal, I believe. If you do that tradition, it's an Italian tradition on Christmas Eve. Apparently, she does not like smelts. And hey, whatever. Get rid of it if you don't like it. Not something I have as an Italian guy, 100%. I do not have this on Christmas Eve. So I think you could just make a request to your family potentially and say, hey, let's have a smeltless Christmas. Okay. Merry smeltlessness. And then you got next one is what needs to go away forever for Christmas is stress for all the wrong reasons. And then in parentheses, they say Christ is king. So we're stressing over gifts and food and all of these events, but we are forgetting the true meaning of it, which is around the birth of Jesus Christ, provided that is your religion. So therefore, we are stressing for the wrong reasons. Now, whether it's just strictly to focus back to Jesus versus other things, I agree with this. I think that we are stressing way too much around this holiday. And I'm part of the problem too, because I am stressing and I am buying things and doing all the shit that you know, I say I shouldn't be doing any longer. And it sounds like I'm a, evil person trying to jump out of this cycle of this holiday consumerism shit. Anyways, overstimulating schedules with no space to rest. Right. I agree. That's another one too. Like, I mean, one of the most sought out things that we can have is a regulated nervous system. And not many of us understand that because we're in this bubble, this matrix of constant hustle, constant progress, constant views of success, constant looking away, constant images, validation, superficiality, all this crap. We just like to just be that way. And it's all about show. And it really doesn't need to be like that. A lot of people will tell you that's poor people talk. And I say it's not. I say fuck it. I say I think there's something to that. I think we overstress about a lot of really dumb things all year, really, and then a lot more at the holidays here. So I think that's one that's really nails it there. Somebody put presence over presence. Now that's spelled two different ways if you're not watching. Presence being bigger than someone's actual presence. So maybe you've lost somebody or whatever, and you got to just sort of be present, not worried about the presence, is what they're getting at here. So more about people, connection, conversations, things you'll remember. Because I mean, there's the hit of nostalgia on those presents that you got when you were a kid, which is cool. But as you get older, you're gonna start to realize. I mean, it's the communication, it's the people that were there, and the memories you share that are going to be the right thing that you should go for there. So I agree. Next one's hyper consumerism. And I can't agree more than that. We just start buying and buying and buying, and it just seems as if now this holiday has been compromised by corporate greed and a bunch of bullshit sales and obligations of buying something for someone. Here's some shit you don't need. There you go. Here's this. This is a formality. You gotta open this, and here's the wrapping paper. Undo it, and you're gonna go ahead and open this gift because that's what we do. You're gonna thank me, hug me, and then be on our way. And we're not gonna talk again for another 7 months. That's just the way things go with family sometimes. But whatever. Gift giving is part of it. Maybe some people enjoy it. Um, I just think that experiences and maybe something with some thought and sentimental value is good, but it gets hard to do that too. So I get it. Greed is up here. Someone has greed, and obviously that kind of goes along with the hyper consumerism. Somebody put in Mariah Carey, who we've spoken about, and again, you're going to miss her if she's gone. Believe me, you're saying it now. Somebody said mistletoe. I don't know. Does anybody still do mistletoe? It's kind of feels like I don't know, like sitting on a mistletoe. Kind of feels like a, a perversion almost. Like, hey, kiss me under this tree branch, please. It's like trying to force someone on you. I guess it's kind of a weird little perverse holiday tradition that we don't really give much thought to any longer. I've never caught myself under the mistletoe with anybody. I don't think. I mean, maybe I did, but I didn't kiss them. That's for sure. I don't know. There were a few drunken times I've been in around the holidays, but who knows? I mean, maybe there's video somewhere. Who knows? But anyways, overspending kind of goes along with everything else that's on here. The commercialism, easy for me to say, commercialism. There we go of Christmas. Yes, that we know that's been at nauseum since we were young. Just different forms of media coming at you with sales and bullshit. I just don't even think like isn't like a sale like white noise at this point? Isn't it just like you're getting bullshitted? Like it's all overpriced. Like at this point, everything's so inflated that like a sale is like a shitty price from 10 years ago. Now it's like we still remember those prices, people. We know this isn't a great deal. We're just getting less fucked on this item right now because of your stupid monetary bullshit system right now. So whatever. Bah humbug and fuck off. So, anyways, what do you got next here? Expectations over presence. Yes, we're expecting to do this and that, and we're not just present. We're worried about the event. Maybe we're not even living it. We're just hoping everything goes correctly. We're wondering who's going to get what, where, who's sitting where, all of this, and then you start yapping about politics with your uncles and your aunts and your cousins and shit, and everyone's mad. That's always fun. Keep that out of your holidays. Politics. You want to destroy it? Bring up fucking politics. That'll hurt everybody. No, nobody's going to be happy about that. Gift exchanges. Somebody wants to get rid of gift exchanges. Kind of the same thing. Expensive presents. So spending too much, which is pretty much everything now. Performance, dead traditions no one enjoys. I like that. Like kind of keeping a tradition going that everyone's sick of, but we've been doing it for all these years. Maybe it's like a white elephant or some sort of game you play or a song you got to sing and everyone's sick of it. And oh, we've done it since we were little, so we're gonna all sing Rudolph to the camera. And you just are like, you know what? This isn't serving me anymore, guys. I'm gonna skip the Rudolph song. I'm gonna go outside, roll up a fatty, and do some. Why did I say that? I don't know. I don't roll up fatties. I just take edibles. So, anyways, last one here. Gift buying obligation for people we don't share life with outside of Christmas Day. Now that's pretty good. Like you don't see them all year. We don't talk to each other. We barely have any contact, and all of a sudden now we're showing up at an event, and here's a gift for you. What the fuck is that? Like, I am the gift. You haven't seen me in like 8 months, and we haven't spoken in four. Now you can sit down and talk about my life with me, and I will talk about yours with you. And that's the gift. It's free and it means more. How about that? I like it. I really like that. Okay. So those are some good responses on that. The next one I asked, well, excuse me, was if you could give everyone in the world one gift, what would it be? What would it be? You can give one gift to everybody. You know, I don't know. What would I give before I read these off? I don't know what I would give everybody. That's a good one. Well, I'll read with this. You got some generic stuff here. I mean, a lot of the same ones. Kindness and love. Okay. You can't really wrap that up, but that's a really good way to be. I guess I'm thinking more of a physical gift on this, which contradicts everything from the other one that I just asked. But hey, whatever. You can give someone a gift. It doesn't have to be physical. It doesn't have to be in a present in a box, something sent from Amazon or FedEx or the slow ass USPS, any of that bullshit that they really don't know how to deliver on time. But I'm not going to get into that right now because yes, there is a package in transit that is not delivered to his destination that I want to get there before Christmas, but the United States Postal Service decides to move like a pregnant cow walking through a big pile of molasses in January. So that's just where I'm at with that. So how about that postal service? Anyways, okay, the gospel. To know, love, and follow Jesus. So we're going to give the portion of the Bible, the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And I like that. Okay, very good. I think people need more of that in their lives. A deep sense of self worth so no one feels they must earn love. That's a deep one. I like that. There's nothing, this is the best one. The, a deep sense of self-worth so no one feels they must earn love. That's perfect. That means loving yourself. That is something that we have a hard time doing. I think we like to beat ourselves up. I'm the king of beating the shit out of myself. You think you know, you don't, maybe you don't see it, but boy, if you can be in my head for a minute, phew, lefts, rights, boom. You did this wrong. You suck at that. You're not good enough. Blah. Our brains will tell us that almost on autopilot. I don't even have to like consciously think of it, and we're going to do that. But you know, it's something I'm definitely working through, and I'm not afraid to talk about it or admit it. Is what it is. Okay, the Yoga Sutras. Somebody wants to give Yoga Sutras out. Okay, yoga's got some good benefits, by the way. Something I have not went into yet, and probably something I really need to. I think they could be really helpful for me. I've done breath work. That surprised me. I was an emotional release when I did breath work, and I was able to shed tears and got my appetite back from what I was going through in those moments. So it was pretty good. Somebody says inner peace. Again, that kind of goes with everything else, kind of to take the high self-worth and all that to kind of build that inner peace, that happiness, that solitude that we've kind of talked about through this. It's just a combination of all these things that'll come together to bring that inner peace that we're kind of seeking. Sometimes I feel like we've just been sold this happy ending, this fairy tale ending in life. When we were young, we would see, you know, read these books, and it was happily ever after. We grew up, we'd watch some movies, and when we got done with the movie, it was everything was sorted out. Everybody left in a great space. Everything seemed perfect, and I think we want our life to mirror that sense of ease that they have. There's no screw left undone. No, nothing is, everything's in its place when the movie ends, when the story ends, when it's happily ever after. Everyone's in love, everyone's good, the bad guy's in jail, everyone's safe. That's not how life works. I've realized that epiphany is not coming, and not from the external at least. So it's got to come from the internal, or you just deal with the chaos every day and accept it. And that's kind of what it is, because no matter what your life is, whether you know, you can view everyone's life externally, you can scream and shout at who's better and who's got it worse. You can spew out victim mentality, whatever you want to do, but everyone's going through something, and their external isn't always the factors. It plays a role, but anyone can go through anything internally. It's a storm. We're all equals in that, to where what we have outside is not, you know, transitions to the inside, I guess, is what I'm seeing. Common sense is the next one. Somebody wants to give everybody common sense. That'd be nice. I don't know. Common sense, is it common any longer? Are we just so different that we think common sense is rare? Are we just so different that we just want everyone to think like us, and we call that common sense? But I don't know, because you know, we all perceive things differently, and we don't know what someone else is going through. So Maybe somebody stops in their tracks at a store and they're on their phone and you're behind them and you're like, oh, this person just stopped in the middle, but maybe they just got a fucking text about somebody went to the hospital or some shit. You don't know. We don't know. I'm easily a a culprit of this too. I'm not trying to preach or tell anybody anything. That's not who I am. I've probably done this 1,000 times. I've probably been yelling at someone to have common sense. Someone else is probably 2 minutes later is looking at me, telling me to have some sort of common sense. I don't know, but I agree. More common sense can be used in certain instances in life. Somebody else said peace. That could be peace between yourself and um, whatever, or just peace, world peace. We're never going to have world peace, by the way. That's not to be a pessimist. It's because we are so individualized and different, and we have different views of what's good and what's bad. So I don't think that world peace is ever going to be something. I think you have to find peace in yourself very much first, and then just kind of use that to give your smallest circle in your community a sense of peace. And if you all can do that, and people can kind of just worry about their own little areas and not try to save the whole world, you're going to save yourself a lot of stress, anxiety, and frustration because you're not going to be able to save the world. Um, you've got religions that believe it's good to murder certain people. They kill women or gays or whatever, or so different Christians and all this, and they think they're doing good. They think that's good. Where some people know that's terrible. And how do you find that peace between those people? Maybe there's a way. Maybe there's a way. But boy, with what's going on out there, I don't. That's a fucking tall task to world peace. Jesus, you always just hear world peace, think it's so easy. Just be nice, everyone. Be nice. Well, people have a different idea what nice is. So remember that. Somebody said a butt plug. Well, that's interesting. Of all this stuff we've been talking about, we get a butt plug in there. So, there's always got to be somebody over there that's, wants to give everyone a butt plug in the world. You imagine that? Like tomorrow morning, like every single person in the world just opens their door, there's a package, and everyone has a butt plug. Like that would just be like world news. Like, where did all of these butt plugs come from? Santa Claus had a oversupply of butt plugs apparently. All right. Well, that's all I can give on that because I don't know. Somebody wanted to say that. All right. Like I tell you, I read everything on here. I don't care. Is what it is. Nothing bothers me. Empathy. Yes, we lack empathy. I'm proud to say that I can be an empathetic person. Some people might not think that, and then maybe they're right because I have my moments. No one's perfect. Even those that are considered empaths can be, have their moments. We're all human, but especially with my business, empathy as far as somebody trying to improve on their body and their composition and their health. Yeah, I will never sit there and shame a person who's trying to do that. I'll give them every shot in the book and never, never, never tell them they're failures and you keep them going. But yeah, we need more empathy in the world, as obviously, and we really do. It's it's just as much as the world peace, that's where it would start, right? Yeah, giving everybody a little bit of empathy and understanding. Discipline, that's another one someone would give the whole world. Discipline. And yeah, you get a disciplined society, that'd be something else. Be a very functioning, very successful society, I guess, with discipline. It's a very hard thing to teach and learn and take on, and it's difficult. And last, they said health. Yeah, that's great. I would love to see everybody be healthy, but life just doesn't work that way. But if it could, that'd be amazing. We're building a utopia here. Good health, kindness, inner peace, common sense, tons of empathy, and butt plugs, because that is just what we got. So, moving along, and the next and last question I asked, the last one is, what is something you are optimistic about in 2026? Now, we could look at the world and we see too much of it now because of social media, obviously, because we see all the shit. But now we got AI, so they're making up negative shit that we can't even tell what's real and what's not. And AI is going to turn people away from their phones at some point. I don't think it'll be in 2026. And the reason I say AI will turn people away from their phones is because we are going to get so frustrated with knowing what is real and what isn't, I think, because we're already there before AI and there was fake news and there was lies and misleading headlines and all this other shit that would come up that we just, oh, I thought it was real, and then we get in an argument with somebody because of this. Now you can make people doing shit. It's going to get ugly if they don't regulate it right. And then you have to thread that needle of freedom versus It's a form of free speech to be able to use AI to prompt this shit to do stuff versus slandering. Like, what happens when you could make a perfect video of somebody, um, I don't know, just beating the fuck out of somebody else, like, and then like show it or like forget that because I guess you can kind of go to reality from there and see that this person doesn't have any of the injuries. But at the same time, like, what is the bullying going to happen with AI if you can just imagine some high school kids, they take some girl or some teenage boy or some shit and they have them doing some perverted sexual shit and they can make that and they pass it all around the school. Kid's fucked no matter what happens. Like you think about that. Like even if it didn't happen, that you are being shown to all of your peers yourself in a very embarrassing situation. Now, I don't know. That's something that's going to really be fucked up. The bullying aspect of that is going to be a problem. And then I'm just tired of going through wondering, is this AI or not? Luckily, you got the Sora logo going through some of this stuff to kind of tell. You can still tell right now, but it's getting good. The advancement it's made over the last 2 years is incredible. It's incredible. What it's going to look like at the end of 2026, I don't know, but it's fucked up. It's as amazing as it is. It's equally as fucking terrifying. All right. Anywho, now, so we got our last one here, which is the New Year's optimistic. What are you optimistic about for the New Year's? We can be pessimistic all day, right? Someone said their trust in the Lord, so that's something good to have. So obviously, see each of these um, questions have had something related to finding God, finding Jesus, and making that part of your life, which I think is great. Calm and quiet space added to each week. That's a great one. I think we need to actively find that because with work, with relationships, with family, responsibilities, with the noise that comes from our phones, I think finding that quiet space each week is one of the most beneficial things that we can do. That is not my answer, but I'm going to take that one for myself, and I already have, and try to limit that noise, whether it just be the noise from the phone that comes through, all the different pings and bings and doom scrolls and fake shit and AI. Fucking weird, man. A lot of screens, a lot of screens, a lot of deceptive images and videos. But anyways, all right. Next up, someone says new beginnings, as we always say for the new year, new me, and all of that. Hey, a new beginning is great. And if it doesn't pan out, don't be afraid to do it in March or July or October, whatever. Just do it and keep those new beginnings rolling if you need them. Um, Keeping only positive people in our lives and letting go of the negative ones. Ooh, I can do an entire episode series on something like this. I have been the type of person to hold on to different relationships entirely too long, just because they've always. I don't like to lose anything. I don't like to lose people, even if they're not good for me. And sometimes they leave themselves, and then you end up seeing it from the outside and realize, wow, I allowed myself to be disrespected, to be ridiculed, or whatever it might be, or just talked to in a bad way, and you don't realize it in the moment until you've disconnected from these people. However, that happens. It doesn't have to be a mean way either. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. And this could be friendships, this could be relationships, family, anything, coworkers, all of this, anything. And you just have to just limit your contact and push it away and analyze it. And it goes back to that self-worth shit we were talking about. And remember that you don't deserve to be disrespected by somebody. You don't need to hold on to somebody. My least favorite thing is when someone will say, "Oh, that's just how they are." No, well, that's how they are, and they can be over there because they're not going to be that way by me. And hey, I'm not perfect. I might not be well for other people too, and that's okay. And I have to accept that because we see the world through our own lenses, our own first person perspective, and we think we're always the right one. Everyone else is wrong. I go through these like conversations with people and whether it's a dating thing or whatever, and then everyone's got their story and they're always the victim in a sense, and they were always wrong, the other person was this and that, or I'm always meeting the good guys. We're always meeting the good guys in any destroyed relationship, in a romantic one, a friendship, a business partnership. It always feels as if the person you're talking to was the one that got slighted, and it just doesn't work that way. It goes back to that old cliche of there's one story, the other story, and then the truth is somewhere in between. But either way, your nervous system needs to be regulated. You need to have high self-worth, which means you need to respect yourself. And if you're allowing somebody else to disrespect you, perhaps then you may start disrespecting yourself. and start feeling that low self-worth feel and that that you don't want to have. So I think that's good. Keep positive people around, people who are supportive, who uplift you, who don't try to one up you, who don't talk about you behind your back. Ones that aren't afraid, friends that will just be too afraid to tell you the truth and will just let you go along through life. And that's even another type of person. Any of these types of people, it's healthier to be away from. They might have good aspects to them too. They might actually be all right people. Doesn't mean they're shitty. And then, like I said, I could have aspects of me that rub somebody else the wrong way, and it just doesn't work. You either have a conversation about it, you talk about it, you strengthen that relationship, or you cut it off, and that's it. You end it. Good one. Whoever put that one in, very good. My future. So somebody's very optimistic about their future, and that's just the best way to be about the future. There's no other way. Just hold optimism because nothing's for sure. My old Sting used to say from WCW, one thing is for sure, nothing is for sure. And I might close all my podcasts with that statement. I'm gonna rip it off of that guy. But anyways, uh, becoming my best, healthiest self. I love that. That's a good New Year's resolution. It's the most common New Year's resolution. But hey, if that's what your goal is, do it and don't let up. I put a reel out and I did some podcasts on New Year's resolutions. Keep those things going. Keep them set. Set one every first of the month, every first of the week if you have to. Whatever. Keep it going. Don't stop. Don't give yourself all this shit to do at the start of the year and then just say you have to carry it on throughout. Small steps, make it the year, all 12 months. You're doing something. Anyways, let's see here. Change. Somebody says change. Okay, that's good. The next version of myself, and I think that's cool that they put it that way. The next version of yourself. I read somewhere that you're not growing if you aren't like a completely shedded skin new person every say 10 years, maybe every decade. And I think that's why a lot of relationships fail too. I think because people and friendships, I think that people become different people at different rates, and if two people are together, let's just say they're friends, two friends are buddies at 20, and throughout their 20s, they party, they do their thing, and one guy wants to keep partying and doing drugs and fucking around and being an idiot, and the other guy, wants to go ahead and start. All right, I need to get a career. Maybe I want to get in shape. I want to find someone to love. I want to become this, more of a man and less of a boy, and do this. And that's going to cause some friction in that friendship because that partier doesn't want to lose his buddy, his wingman, and the dude that wants to start to straighten out his life a little bit more is going to see this guy as baggage and holding him back, and then he'll probably start with the whole demeaning and trying to lower his self-worth and bring him down a peg, because a lot of people that are upset with themselves are going to try to bring others down a peg, and it's very obvious when someone is doing that. You can see it. Maybe they'll just start crying about you have more than me and you're shitty for that because I don't feel good about myself or who I am or my upbringing. That's something that people will do. And you can't succumb to that sort of thing. You are who you are as long as you're humble and you're not um, you know, entitled and acting like a spoiled bitch, then maybe, then you're probably fine. Just we all have different lives, we all have different paths, we've all been born to different people and where we're at, and you become who you need to become, and that's it. And just do what's right for you, and stick to your goals and and who you want to be. And that's it. That's my little rant for the day on that one. So the next one is more personal growth. I think that goes along with a lot of the other stuff to change and all that. So somebody else said the real estate market. I think that might be a realtor. It wasn't my realtor. I have been talking to my realtor, and she might be doing a podcast with me because I want to hear about the real estate market in 2026. I think that could be something to talk about, um, because buying a home is a big part of life, and I think that's something that maybe we don't go into with enough knowledge as far as getting pre-approved for a loan, and now we got to know where the interest rates are going to be and where they're headed and when the best time to buy would be. I like it. Somebody else said happiness, so that's good. They're optimistic about happiness and hope they can attain that. And consistency over intensity is said here. Consistency over intensity. I like that because you're better off being methodical for a long time without going so balls to the wall and burning your shit out. And you're going to be better off being consistent over intense, because intensity you'll burn the fuck out. Consistency you kind of go throughout the year. And this can be for anything, whether it's health, obviously, training, um, learning a skill, whatever it is. I think that's a great thing to kind of put in there. Consistency over intensity. I like it. So that's really all I got today. And I don't know. Hey, it's fucking Christmas, so I don't know what you're getting. What am I gonna get? I have no nothing on my wish list. Nothing that I would like is something physical. It's really just a lot of personal stuff. I am going to be getting a nice, relatively large tattoo done on in January. That's my gift to myself. So I'm going to do that. Looking forward to it. Be the largest one I've ever done. And I'll get more into that another time because no one wants to hear about other people's tattoos. But if you're going to the new year after Christmas, this is typically where you start to think about, making changes like we just talked about in that last slide is changes. And a lot of it's physical. A lot of it's going to be health related. This is the way it goes. So I think that if you need any help with that, I can do that for you. I have a lot of different options. Won't go through it here, but you can see my contact info here. But if you're not looking at the screen, you can contact me by email is best, Mike at mfswellness.com. You can find me on social media just about anywhere at MFS Wellness. I have a website, which is mfswellness.com. And MFS, by the way, is my initials. Okay. I know it stands for something else, and I don't care, and I like it. It stands for motherfuckers for most people. Motherfuckers be this, motherfuckers be that, MFS be this, MFS be that. Fuck it. I love it. That's my initials now, and it became that. Beautiful. Even better. That really works. And it could have been something like definitely more bizarre, like, people wanting to give the entire world butt plugs. It could have been something like that, but it's not. So it's MFS, motherfuckers. That's what it is. So here it is. And it's Christmas time. If you're missing somebody, if you're lonely, if shit just doesn't seem to be going right, I'm no therapist at all. I can be a good acquaintance or a good friend. So if you need something, hit me up on that and any of this stuff. You not even if it's just not even health fitness related. If there's anything, if you're alone and you're feeling sad, just hit me up. I don't give a fuck anymore. Just when I get to it, I'll get to it and we'll talk. And this is the way it's got to be. That's the person that I'd like to be, and I've had people like that for me, so I could return the favor as many times as possible. So yeah, that's the contact info. This is Christmas time. I'm gonna go listen to Mariah Carey now, and maybe Justin Bieber. I don't know. I really don't know. But I was pissed off, and I didn't mention that Bing Crosby wasn't anywhere on that list that we had before. I think Bing Crosby's Christmas stuff is the most classic shit that you can put on. So him and Nat King Cole, I like those guys a lot. Bublé's earning his spot up there. Andy Williams, there's a lot of them out there. The old school crooners. Burl Ives, he deserves his accolades here. Burl Ives, Holly Jolly Christmas. That's the best version, the old school one he did. But anyways, it's Christmas time. I hope everybody out there has a very Merry Christmas. And you can relax and you can take some time to chill out. A lot of times it's chaotic, but hopefully you can find inside where it's not. With your externals chaos, um, just keep it peaceful inside. I think that's the winning way to go in life, in my opinion. I don't care. There's nothing you can do about that external chaos. There's going to be people yelling, kids screaming. Um, people coming at you that don't like you, all this other kind of shit. And I'm not saying at your Christmas events, but that's the chaos around you. But if you can get that internal peace that they talk about, that just chill feel throughout this whole thing, and you can just let that chaos just kind of just buzz around you, and it doesn't really get through to you. That's where we want to be. And again, I'm working on it myself. Okay, so I don't have like the answers for you. But I think that's the goal, because if you reverse that, it doesn't mean shit. You can be in the most peaceful little surroundings, but if your insides are fucking chaotic, it doesn't matter where you go. You just carry it around. So remember that it's inside is where you carry it. It's where everything is. Your externals can change and flip. If the inside's good, you're going to be fine. So that's what we want to do. And as far as your external body goes, you want to take care of that as best you can as well. So I will stop blabbing now. Merry Christmas. I may be back with another one before the new year, but if I'm not, have a happy new year. And until then, I will see you on the next one. And remember, the only thing that's for sure is that nothing is for sure.